Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? This is Easy Things to Draw. Today I'm going to go over how to draw Charlie Brown from the Peanuts series, and I'm kind of doing it because the Peanuts movie is coming out. I'm going to be using this colored pencil. It doesn't matter what kind of colored pencil I'm using. This is for the structure underneath, the kind of framework, and then otherwise I'm going to be using a Sharpie, and I'm going to throw a little bit of color on there. I'm going to introduce the colors as I use them, so there's no need to really, know which ones really, I guess. But they are Rose Art brand colored pencils, and there's also Scholastic Art colored pencils. So let's kind of start this. Let's start this with this generic, just random colored pencil. So with Charlie Brown, his head is clearly a circle, and I'm going to draw this dark, and I'm going to slide that paper underneath. These characters are all very, like I said, everything is made up of simple shapes, and they're not much more obvious than they are with these Peanuts characters. Charlie Brown has this sort of shape, this kind of ball, almost like on a T. I'm not sure what you would call that shape. And I pull down for the leg area, and right here, I guess they look like two loaves of bread. His feet. They're just like two ovals next to each other. They kind of overlap. And I might just throw in a little bit of indication for where I want, my features placed when I'm going to throw a piece of paper over it. And I'm going down here with the arms really fast. This is all scribbly, and I'm kind of making it dark so that I can see. When I put it underneath, I can actually see where. You know what I mean? I can actually see it. Sorry about that. I'm a little tongue-tied right now. It's early. So this is a very quick underlay. This is the general placement, general shapes that are going underneath it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another sheet of paper. This is all regular printer paper, by the way. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to place underneath that. And I'm going to grab my Sharpie, by the way. I'm using just a regular industrial Sharpie. The only difference is that it has a kind of a point to it, so that I can, mess around. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into right here. I'm going to the curve of the head. I'm going to essentially trace that. That's probably one of the more dangerous curves because it is basically a circle. And connected that circle there. Sometimes he has kind of an egg-like shape to his head, but circle's fine. Like the letter C kind of for his ear. And then balance it out on the other side, but it's a little bit behind because he's going to be looking that way a little bit. Basically a C for his nose. And his nose, I would say, would be about maybe 1/3 of the way down. His eyes are next to that, right next to his nose. They're really close in as well. His hair is just really a swirl. Sometimes it bunches together, sometimes it doesn't. And his mouth is really low. It's very far away from his nose. Give him kind of a worried look. I was just kind of fixing that line there. It was bugging me. Still kind of bugging me anyway. I'm going to go down here with his neck. And I'm going to follow that pattern underneath that I have. I can barely see it. Like a V for where his, shirt ends. Right here with the collar of the shirt. Pulling down all the way to the bottom of his shorts. bottom of the shorts. I'm going to pull down his sleeve first. His hand's coming out of his sleeve, and his hand's going to go right into his pocket. And basically it's just a cut off, really, like that. Back of his shorts. His shirt's coming up as he's putting his hand in his pocket. He has to pull his shirt up. And then I'm going to do his famous shirt logo, which is just up and down. Essentially it's just like a W's. And it has a thickness to it. And I'm going to fill that in with marker because that's a big feature for him. And I am actually probably going to fill in the shorts with marker in a moment. But right now I'm going to go down to the legs. Hopefully that's still on the screen. I go down to the legs here. I'm going to get one of those potato type shoes. Or honestly, it kind of reminds me of like a loaf of bread. Make another line for the socks. And then his laces can be just swirls as well. And you could draw maybe like, I don't know, some grass around him. I always like them kind of standing somewhere. And you can even draw a little thick line right here for his other arm that's on the other side to make sure he has two arms. But it's kind of just coming around the corner a little bit where you only see the line. And then, like I said, you can actually, if you really want, you can kind of color his shorts, like, shade in his shorts. But it might, what do you call that? Might hide where some of the edges are. So I'm just going to leave a couple of random edges. Be careful with these markers, though. Make sure you're in a ventilated area, because these Sharpies have a really nasty smell, and I think it's because of the toxic material that it's made of. There's like an old, I think, what do you call that? Old wives' tale that using these markers way too much, or using material like this way too much, will shorten your lifespan. But I mean, I never really bought into that because there's really been no testing for that. Has there? I don't think. If there has, link it to me. But I don't know. But I would just say, just to be safe, is not a good smell. Do not, inhale it or anything. I know that's bad. If you directly try to inhale it, that's really bad. So now we have Charlie Brown. We have Charlie Brown right here, and I'm going to go over the colors really fast. The first one I'm going to do is the color is yellow. His shirt's yellow. That's a big, again, this is very iconic, this shirt. You see hats of it. You see, I've seen it all over the place. And I'm going to kind of grind it in here. There's not like a ton of style to it. I'm just going to grind it in really hard. Very simple. That's pretty much all. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. His socks are also yellow. They match. This one's a Scholastic colored pencil. And then I was going to also use this right here. This is a color. This is Rose Art brand, and it's Sienna. And I was going to use that for his shoes. And I was actually thinking about two different things. There's one on the Rose Art brand called Pale Flesh, and there's one called True Orange. I'm gonna try True Orange on his skin, because I want it to be a little bit darker. Because I want it to kind of pop out in the paper. I think the True Flesh is a little too. I think it's barely visible. So I think this is a little bit more visible. So I'm gonna do that. And I'm just going to kind of throw it in loosely. I'm not going to try to press too hard on it either. If I could, I would just do like a click of a button and have it all filled in, like on Photoshop. It's got a flat color to get used to it. And if you really want, you can put like a background color for blue. Like there's a sky behind him or something like that. Just like something really quick. And that can be just to make the character, feel like he's in a background of some type. Just a little like that. You can vignette it. And then for the grass, oh whoops, I forgot to color his legs. He has completely white legs. There we go. And then, oops, green. And this is just yellow-green, they call it. Ignore that blue mark there. That's kind of it. Charlie Brown's an interesting character because obviously he's an interesting character for his character, but he's interesting to draw because, like I said, he's so deceptively simple that messing up some of his proportions could result in like it not looking anything like him. So that's kind of it. That's a quick Charlie Brown. I hope you guys learned something a little bit. Please email me some send me some questions on here, and I'll let you know. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. I appreciate it. I'm gonna do a couple of other Peanuts characters, and I'm gonna see what else I can do. I'll talk to you guys later on. See ya.